Hi guys, today is March 5th, 2020. Futures are down a lot, and after California declared a state of emergency, citing 53 more coronavirus cases, new coronavirus cases. And here are your picks for today and the future. Let's start with S&P 500. S&P 500 is trading lower, and again, I reiterate, I'm watching the 285 level. If it let's see if it tests that level. But in general, I like the Federal Reserve cut that was done a couple of days ago, 50 basis points cut, and I think it's makes buying stocks a lot safer in this area. So let me start with stocks that I would not buy in this environment, and I would say that the banking stocks such as Bank of America, BAC, JP Morgan, MS, I would not buy those stocks because Fed is cutting rates is not good for those stocks, and in general the environment, the lending environment is not good for banks as a whole. Okay, but JP Morgan is very high, and I don't understand JPM how some analysts can upgrade those the stock recently, because it's incredibly high, and I might even short the stock. As a matter of fact, out of banking stocks, I like Bank of America the most. Okay, so if it drops in around 27 area, I think I would start picking up a little bit of Bank of America. Okay, the next group of stocks is oil stocks, and out of oil stocks, I only not like, but I would prefer to be in XOM, CVX, Chevron, and ConocoPhillips. Okay, and those three stocks I think can weather this storm. Other stocks, independent oils, is not in my book to own. Okay, so these three stocks, they pay high dividend, especially XOM, because they came down a lot. And people don't forget that XOM is not only oil company, it's also a refinery company, and also it's a chemical company. So at $50 or under $50, I would be interested to buy the stock just for dividend, because they would pay like 7% dividend. I think they provided pretty good plan, as well as CVX. Another group of stocks is airline stocks. Okay, airline stocks came down a lot, but they came down so much that I would be interested to maybe to do light pickings of those stocks, very light, just to be in a game, because as you can see, the RSI for these stocks are incredibly low. For example, American Airlines is trading at like under $18, and it's amazingly low. And I picked up just a few hundred shares of this company under $18, and I think if it goes down, I'll pick up a little bit more just to be in a game. Okay, and the one that I like is UAL. Okay, the UAL, United Airlines. They actually said that they are closing some routes, but I think they came down so much that it makes sense to pick a little bit, just a little bit, because in comparison to, for example, leisure stocks such as cruise line stocks like CCL and the Carnival Cruises, RCL, I would not pick up those stocks. I would not pick up the Royal Caribbean, Carnival Cruises, Norwegian Cruises. I think this is too early to pick up those stocks, because people don't have to go on a cruise, but they still have to fly. So just by that logic alone, it makes sense to do some very light pickings. I mean, depending on your account, on airline stocks, but not leisure and Carnival, not Carnival, cruises stocks. Okay, another group of stocks that I don't want to be in is casino stocks, casino operator stocks like Wynn and MGM. I think this is way too early to buy them. The coronavirus is still going around, and people don't have to go into casinos, especially casinos with the big international exposure, especially in Macau, China. Okay, so So that's the bottom line. Okay, let's jump into other stocks that reported earnings, like for example Zoom Video. They reported earnings, and I expect them to fall because they had a big run into the earnings, and I was thinking that it could fall once they report. It was considered to be a stay-at-home stock and benefiting from coronavirus fears, actually, but even though they beat top and bottom, provided good guidance, they still fell. I think if they come down in the low hundreds, I would be interested to buy this stock, and that might happen. Okay, Tesla had big news today. Actually, Tesla, not so good news. Good news, but not so good news, because they reported that some Chinese buyers complained that they have discovered that Tesla put the old chip in their Model 3 cars and sold it in China. So that's not very good news for Tesla, not at all, because it's a reputation hit for Tesla in general. And I would stay away from Tesla stock, even though I own Tesla and I sold covered calls, and I might even trim a little bit of Tesla. But I think that's not good news reputation-wise for Tesla. Okay, so speaking of Tesla, and Tesla counterpart is NIO. NIO had some news because they reported they have sold convertible notes for $235 million that could be redeemed for $3.50. So diluting shares again. But I think if NIO falls a little bit lower, I think it's not a bad buy for NIO, because this reputational hit for Tesla could benefit NIO, actually, as a matter of fact. So, and I noticed that the previous convertible notes they sold could be redeemed for $3.07, like a month ago, and now they're selling the convertible notes that could be redeemed for $3.50, so higher price. So that's not that bad of news for NIO. And another stock that was upgraded was Novocure. Was upgraded by Wells Fargo today, and the price target was raised to $90. Not sure why this stock is trading a lower pre-market, but it's pretty good pickup in my opinion. Okay, Moderna had its manufacturing and digital day yesterday. I listened to their presentation. It was pretty good. I liked it, and they talked about the advantage of their platform, and I think it's a pretty good stock in the 27 area to pick up. Okay, Burlington Stores reported not so hot numbers, and I think actually, considering how much they ran recently compared to other stocks, I mean, they didn't fall as much, let's put it this way. They didn't run, but they didn't fall as much. And they didn't report. They reported beat, but didn't provide particularly good guidance. So I think it's no go, no buy. Okay, in my mind. But what is a buy is Ciena. Ciena Corporation is a telecom equipment maker, pretty much a semiconductor stock, and they reported really good numbers, beat top and bottom, provided good guidance, and I think it's around $40 or 40, even yesterday's closing price is a pretty good buy. Marvell Communications also reported pretty good earnings, symbol MRVL, Marvell. And they're trading a little bit higher, and I think if the overall stock market comes down, this stock comes down, it could be a good opportunity to buy this stock. In general, I like semiconductor stocks a lot. Okay, so Kroger also reported earnings. Kroger is Buffett's favorite stock, and they reported pretty good earnings, and they're trading a lot higher. And it's a very defensive play, pays good dividend, and maybe that's a good place to hide from this craziness. Splunk reported not so good numbers, and they're lower pre-market, but not so bad. I mean, if they come down in the 140, low 140 area, I would be interested to buy this stock. And Snap was upgraded this morning by MKM Partners, and I think that stock came down a lot, and the previous earnings they were not that bad to come down this much, so I think it's not a bad pickup in my opinion. And J&J report was upgraded this morning by Citi. and price target of giving price target of 163, but it's trading down pre-market, and I think that could be a pretty good pickup. One more company I'll give you is American Eagle. Reported really good numbers, and that stock is trading higher, and I think it's a good pickup. Okay guys, that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button. I'll see you tomorrow.